Hello, I'm the Nostalgia Critic. I remember it so you don't have to, and I'm with Badass.
I hate him.
What?
I'm not.
Bloody love Doug.
Sorry, Doug.
I love Doug Walker. I'm with the Badass Skater Boy of the Isle of Wight, Adam Pesini.
People found it.
Yes!
People found it. But wait. They were posting the link to the website in the YouTube chat, and because it's a URL, flagged as spam. Nobody sees it. Suckers!
Tweet it to me. We'll do the rest. News. There are reports that several WWE superstars are considering asking to leave after Sunday's releases. The first two inductees into the WWE Hall of Fame 2020 have been announced. And a former WWE star has threatened to kill an AEW star. Let's get to that in a bit. It's only in wrestling where losing your job this close to Christmas is a good thing.
Right?
Isn't it weird?
They've got 3 months pay, right? 3 months no compete. They get paid for 3 months.
Yeah.
Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas,
gardening
Luke.
leave, innit? Have some gardening leave for Crimbo. And after Luke Harper, The Ascension, and Sin Cara all were granted their releases, a few more want to get gone in the most wonderful time of the year.
That's correct. So this is from Tom Colahue, who is a writer for Sportskeeda, PW Torch, and various other places, tweeting yesterday. According to a source in the WWE locker room, a small number of WWE wrestlers are considering asking for their releases now due to concern that this might be the only time the company is willing to let them go. It certainly feels like a change of heart for WWE to be granting these releases in contract, and it's I can't blame a lot of people if they want to get out of there.
The thing I heard this morning was that Luke Harper's contract was coming up anyway, and they're including all the time they've added on. And his contract was due to end in the spring anyway.
Yeah.
So WWE have let him go now with a 90-day no-compete, so he's leaving in the spring anyway.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
It's that whole you can't fire me because I quit type thing. Like,
Because
we'll let you go now that your contract is...
It cost them no more money. Because they wouldn't have the no-compete thing, would they? Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas! Oh, God, that makes so much sense.
You sly little chicken, you! Hey,
So-
either way, the result stands that they all get to go and do other things. And who else do you think will follow suit in this? I mean, obviously, there's a lot of names that have voiced a lot of displeasure with being in WWE, i.e. Mike Nellis.
The Revival.
The Revival. Mm-hmm. Was it Scott Dawson posted a gif of some snakes?
I'm sure he did.
Snacks.
I'm sure he did.
Just because they like the snake.
I don't think the Revival are going to go anywhere, personally.
Nah.
I'll probably eat my hat on that one. I'll do a Sam, but I think they're going to stick around. I think they're going to be offered lots and lots of money to stay.
Yeah.
At the same time, it wouldn't surprise me if they went to AEW. I think it's a lot easier to think of people who might get released sort of a la the Ascension, right? I don't believe the Ascension asked for their release. I think that was actually just a release that WWE wanted to do. So I can think of people that aren't utilised on TV, perhaps like... I want to say Mojo Rawley there. I think it's a possibility. Although he was on last night's Raw getting beaten up with a big old pipe. He doesn't get piped. He stays piped.
Oh, you've wasted that gag here. Use it graded.
I'll use it again. Don't worry.
Good shout. If you love that gag, you'll see a rerun of it in a bit. So can you see more of this happening? More people going, or is this more? Because I started this week thinking, there's something in the water this week that I think is going to go. And as the yesterday wore on, I thought, actually, no.
I don't think so either. I think we would have seen them all on Sunday. It's a typical sort of PR thing to do. All of your bad news on a Sunday when people are doing other things, and it gets buried. I don't know. There aren't any names here being mentioned. I don't think so. Unless people start spouting off on Twitter and it creates negative PR, and then WWE want rid.
Yeah.
So maybe that's sort of what happened with Luke Harper. Like, he was fairly outspoken a few times, like in the backstage thing on Up, Down, Down, and about not getting booked. And he's been quite open about being very frustrated. And Sin Cara obviously released that statement. Maybe that's the way to get released. Balls to the wall on Twitter, and then see you later.
Kick right off, lads. Kick right off. Very early on in the time for this, but we've got some Hall of Fame announcements randomly yesterday.
Yeah, really surprising. Normally they stagger them via major press outlets, week by week by week by week by week. But no, we're getting them super early. So the first is the New World Order, which is comprised, apparently, of... Virgil's not in there. This is ridiculous, right?
Livid.
Right. Hulk Hogan, second time in there. Scott Hall, second time in there. Kevin Nash, second time in there. Sean Waltman, second time in there. What an unnecessary... Don't get me wrong, the NWO as a collective deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. Probably. Some of them. Not Waltman. When you think NWO, you don't think Waltman.
Waltman makes sense, right? Because I've seen a few people online saying, "Oh, Ted DiBiase was the fourth member. He should go in."
No, I don't think it's about chronological order. It's about impact.
A few people think it is, which is hilarious.
Oh, right.
It's Sean Waltman. Now, Sean Waltman was in both incarnations of the WCW version and the WWE version.
We don't count the WWE version because
Trust me, they will. They will. So Sean was in both. So and he was a major player in both, even though the second one was.
He wasn't that much of a major player in the WCW version.
Was he not? I kind of thought he was.
Not massively. There are other people that did a lot more.
Virgil.
Virgil, who deserved to be in there for sure. The second is.
That's right, Adam Pacitti. That's Funky Cocktails.
Right, no, it's Batista. He walks
Big
alone.
Dave. Big Dave walking alone.
Very much so. I've
I've
got absolutely zero complaints about Big Dave going in. It's about bloody time. He, of course, had his retirement match. He's probably not going to have another match. You never say never in wrestling, but I think he is truly done. He's got other bigger fish to fry, I guess. And yeah, I've got absolutely no complaints about that. He has revealed who he'd like to induct him, Thomas.
And it was a real surprise, because obviously the names were banded around like Triple H, Randall Keith, some people said should induct him, which is a bit weird. Ric Flair, obviously, amongst those names as well. But the name that Dave wants to induct him into the Hall of Fame
Dana Brooke.
Is Dana Brooke. There'll be some inducting each other into something. WrestleMania weekend. Dave says, I owe a lot to all of those names mentioned and many more. But for personal reasons, I personally requested that Finlay induct me into the WWE Hall of Fame. I'm sure that anyone who knows Fit Finlay will not question my request.
That's wonderful. Like, he's renowned as being one of the best producers WWE has ever had, and also one of the greatest technical wrestlers in the wrestling biz ever. It's a weird thing because now he produces most of the women's matches. You associate him with the rise of women's wrestling, but obviously he did a lot back in the day with Dave. Obviously, Finlay was an active roster member at the time, but he was also helping out backstage, helping guys like Batista, young up-and-coming talent, because of his wealth of knowledge. And that's great. You know what? I'd really like to see it. I'd really like to see it, because Finlay's actually not a bad talker either. He's a really funny, sort of very likeable old codger. And
so with the fact,
codger,
yeah,
fine.
So the connection to Batista, I think the knowledge that he'd give Batista in his run during his time in the WWE, the general love for him backstage as well. I wouldn't be surprised if Wale inducts Batista into the WWE Hall of Fame. Shatner inducted Lawler.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
He didn't.
Oh, no.
And furthermore, how about a wrestler threatening to kill another wrestler? Let's end on a happy story. Big Cass and Joey Janela getting into it on the Twitters.
Yeah, so this all stems back to an altercation between Enzo Amore, Big Cass's little buddy, and Joey Janela outside an indie show. You'll forgive me for not remembering which one, but they kicked off, and it was all, there were videos floating about on Twitter. So it's continued on, and then Cass tweeted out, "Hey, at Janela baby, say one more word about me and your life will end. Real talk, hashtag how you doing?" Okay, he's since deleted that tweet, but it has continued a little bit. Cass then went on, after this was being reported everywhere, to say, "Hey, it's a work." And then Janela retweeted, quote retweeted, saying, "The only person you're working is yourself, buddy." Yeah, so it's just like, the thing about this is, I really want to root for Cass. Truly. He's a guy with mental health issues. He's a guy with an alcohol addiction. He's getting help. He's trying to better himself. And then he does stupid crap like this, like threatening to kill someone on Twitter. Come on. I want to get behind him. I want to see him come back to the WWE. I think he's a wrestler genuinely with a lot to offer.
Yeah, agreed. And it sucks when all these things happen. I think we have a hard and fast rule. The one thing we've learned in the last few months, if you're going to work an angle with somebody on Twitter, let them know. Just tell them that's what you're doing. It helps rather than making people guess that, I'm trying to start a story with you. How about you tell us? Like, it'll be, not us, but tell them involved.
Tell us, tweet us.
I mean, tweet us as well, because then we'll tweet about it. It's absolutely fine. But yeah, I think a few occasions this year it's been like somebody's been tweeting some beef, and then the other person's gone, "Why are you being rude?" And they go, "I'm just trying to start a story." It's like, well, could you not just let me know beforehand and we work together to write the story?
I think a lot of this stems from like wrestlers getting drunk and tweet. I think phones need breathalyzers.
Oh,
genuinely,
God,
a blow into at the bottom, and if you're over the limit, you don't get to unlock your phone. You've got to go to bed.
What's your biggest sort of beer fear tweet Facebook check?
My what?
When you've had maybe a drink the night before and you've woken up and you've gone, I didn't realise I sent that tweet. I didn't realise.
Oh no, I'm good as gold.
You're really good.
Yeah, I'm good as gold. Yeah, I just try not to use Twitter if I'm drinking. I get home and have an old fashioned every night. I turn my phone off.
Nice!
You?
Literally an old fashioned whilst having an old fashioned.
Yeah.
I seem to remember one day I think I'd woken up and I'd messaged like 3 old work colleagues from a previous job and just told them how much I missed working with them. It was it was all like,
you're a sweetheart when you're drunk.
even when I'm drunk, I'm really, really nice. But like the next day I was like, I don't know why I messaged them at 1 a.m.
That's lovely. Oh, 1 a.m. That's creepy.
Yeah,
never
creepy
mind.
as hell. Don't drink and tweet. That's the lesson here.
See ya.
Hey, thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section down below. You can support us on Patreon by going to patreon.com/Cultaholic. Lastly, don't forget to hit subscribe and join us.